Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. If you guys are new here, my name's Jen and I just graduated law school from Arizona State University's law school, and if you've been around for a bit, I'm back. I know I took a little bit of a break off of YouTube and I have a vlog coming probably in the next few days or like next week with a full life update, so I'll let you guys know where I've been and that's coming soon. But for this video, I figured it would be good to do a Q&A for incoming 1Ls. It is the beginning of August, so law school is going to be starting in the next few weeks to a month, depending on where you're going. And starting law school is a very nerve-wracking time. I remember it very well. So I just wanted to do like a calm Q&A for incoming 1Ls and just answer some of the questions I get asked most frequently about starting law school. These were questions I had or questions that I get asked often. So I just got out of the shower, I poured a glass of wine, so we'll just chill for this evening and go over some of those questions. Okay, so the first question is if there's anything you guys can do to prepare like in these few weeks before school starts or anything to get ahead. The short answer is no. You don't have any summer reading for law school or like summer assignments or anything. So overall, no. Enjoy your free time. It's about to get really busy and overwhelming, so just enjoy your free time. If you're moving, get settled in, get to know your new area, like nothing specific. However, if you do have free time and you are looking to just like go the extra mile and really get ready, I feel like the only thing I'd recommend is maybe start to get familiar with how law school exams work. They're very different than undergrad exams, and I certainly waited too long to figure out how they worked. Like I waited till exams were right in front of me. My first semester as a 1L, so I would just start to poke around online and get familiar with what exactly a law school exam is. It's a lot less about reciting back material you've memorized, and it's a lot more about applying what you've learned to hypotheticals, like in an essay format. There's a great book that I'll link below called Getting to Maybe, and it's a really great resource for law school essays, and it sort of explains to you how the goal is not to get the right answer, but to just explore all possible arguments and things like that. So that would be the only thing I'd say if you do want to get ahead, but really in law school in your first semester, everyone's starting from zero, so just enjoy your free time. But I'll link that book below if you want to check it out and maybe poke around online. But there's really nothing you need to do to prepare. You'll be fine. Everyone starts from zero. Your professors know that. Enjoy your free time. Okay, the next question I get asked quite often actually is what to wear to class. Law school doesn't have like an exact dress code, or at least I couldn't find one, but it sort of felt like I should dress a certain way or something because law school feels sort of serious. The short answer is there is no dress code. There might be at some schools, but I'm pretty sure for most law schools, and this was certainly the case at ASU, there was no dress code. So first and foremost, wear something you're going to be comfortable in, because learning the information is the top priority, not looking a certain way. Having said that, remember that your professors will be seeing your top half, and you do want to make a good impression on your law school professors, or at least not make a bad impression. So I would avoid anything loud on top or inappropriate, you know, stuff like that. I usually opted for just like a plain sweater, t-shirt. If I wore like a tank top, I would usually have a sweater over it. Usually no writing, just plain stuff. A lot of the guys that I went to school with wore just like polo shirts or plain t-shirts. A lot of people wore sweatshirts, like even hoodies. I feel like that's fine. So honestly, there's no dress code. I will say I avoided sweatpants for the most part, and I think most of my classmates did too. But I did wear leggings often. So honestly, almost every day near the end there. So there's no dress code. Just make sure that you are comfortable, and make sure that you're comfortable with your professor seeing at least the top half of whatever you're wearing, but that's really all. Okay, next question I get asked often is how to meet people when you first start law school and how to make friends. This one hits really close to home because I did a terrible job of this my 1L year. So I'm going to tell you everything I wish someone had told me and what I wish I did. So to start, if your school has an orientation, most law schools will have an orientation that you have to go to. If any piece of that is like a happy hour or a mixer, at my school it was optional, go to that. I only went to the mandatory portions of my orientation, and I skipped the like optional happy hour at the end. And I later learned that that's where a lot of people met their friends, and that's how people knew each other on the first day of class and had people to sit next to. And I was like, how does everyone already know each other? It's because they went to that happy hour and I didn't. So even if it feels so uncomfortable, that's why I didn't go. I just thought it would be so uncomfortable because I didn't know anyone. Go to it, strike up conversation with anyone. On that same token, if your school has bar review, which the Student Bar Association will set up like one Friday a month, I think, at a bar near your school or a restaurant or something, same thing. Try to just make yourself go to it. Maybe you can find one friend in class or something that you can go with. I feel like that maybe makes it a little easier, but go to those things. Great way to meet people. In school, most law school classes use a seating chart, so where you sit on the first day of class is where you will sit for the whole semester, which actually kind of helps people make friends because you can strike up conversation with the person sitting next to you, and that's going to be the person sitting next to you every class for the rest of the semester. So get there early, strike up conversation with the person next to you. I wish I realized sooner how not weird it is to ask for someone's phone number. Just ask. It's such a nice resource. If you're sick one day, they can send you notes. Maybe you guys can set up a study group. Like, just strike up conversation. Everyone's in the same boat and everyone is just as nervous. And I wish I had done all of these things, but I didn't because I thought it was just too uncomfortable to do them. And then I was the one with no friends one all year. So have the conversations, introduce yourself, ask for phone numbers, go to the happy hours. Even if you don't want to drink or anything, just go have a soda. You don't have to like be crazy or anything. Just go to them and talk to people and it will pay off. I promise. I watched it happen for other people and I watched it not happen for me because I didn't do those things. So put yourself in the uncomfortable situations and pretty soon they'll just be your friends and those things won't be uncomfortable. So hopefully that helps. So the next question I get often is whether you can take notes in the same way you took them for undergrad. And I would say in general, yes. Your learning style is really not going to change. So if you found something that works for you in undergrad, that should work in law school too. You're the same student that you were. Having said that, I would say pay a lot of attention to hypotheticals teachers give in class that apply like the rule you just learned or something. This will make more sense once you get started with law school, but pay attention to those because your final exam is going to be a hypothetical in essay form. So anytime your professor walks you through how to apply that rule in a hypothetical, take very good notes on how they did that, how they like it formatted, how they use the rule, how they made arguments on both sides. Like I said, I think this will make more sense as you get going in law school, but pay extra attention to those. But in general, I feel like you can take notes the same way. If you prefer by hand, stick to that. Laptop, stick to that. Most of my professors allowed laptops, but some didn't, so be ready to take notes by hand and just have a notebook and a pen your first day, just in case you wind up in one of those classes. But in general, I'd say, yeah, it's just the final that'll look different, but class is pretty much the same. One of my biggest questions going in, and I also get it a lot, was do they cold call on the first day, and is it as scary as it seems in like movies and in my head? And here's what I'll say. My professors that cold called, which was most of them, they did do it on the first day, but it really wasn't that scary. They were total softballs. I had almost no professors in law school who were ever trying to make us look like idiots, so it was always, if you did the reading, like it really wasn't that scary. So if you get cold called on the first day especially, don't worry, they'll be nice to you. Having said that, let's talk a few tips to prepare for these cold calls so you can just sleep a little easier the night before. Okay, so you'll get the syllabus ahead of time for most of your classes, or at least I did, so I knew if I had reading assigned for the first day. For most of my classes, I never did. Maybe some, but for most there wasn't reading assigned for the first day, so you probably won't even have an assignment. So your cold call on the first day would likely just be like, what do you think of this? Or something like that, just an opinion question. But if you do have reading for the first day or later on in the semester when you do, it's extra work, but I would take notes on it, especially if you're nervous about cold calls. It makes you just breathe a little bit easier knowing you have notes right in front of you as opposed to just highlighted sections, because sometimes if you get a cold call and you only highlighted, you'll be like flipping through pages trying to find the part that you want. But if you have notes, it's a little more streamlined. So I would take notes, and then also as the semester gets going, pay attention to how that professor cold calls. So if they're really detail oriented, you'll need to take notes on the details. If they often cold call about concurring opinions or dissents, you need to read those closely. You can't just skim them, which is like what I tended to do often. And so, yeah, you'll just learn your professors and how they cold call, and then you can sort of adjust your reading accordingly. I always, by the end of my law school experience, I read differently for different classes depending on how the professor cold called. But I would take notes. I think it makes your life a lot easier. And just do the reading, and if you get a cold call and you don't know the exact answer, if you did the reading, you can share with them something that you do know that's related to the topic. I did this many times in law school. My professors were never mad. It showed that I did the reading, and maybe I didn't have the exact answer to their question, but at least I was just trying to offer something of value. And cold calls don't count towards your grade unless you're consistently not prepared for class. They might dock you a little bit, but in general in law school, your final exam's your whole grade. So even if your cold calls don't go as you had hoped, don't worry, they don't affect your grade, and you'll get used to them. They're really not that scary. Okay, the last question I'm going to answer for this video is, do you need to worry about finding an internship during first semester 1L year? The short answer is no, and in fact I would recommend that you don't. Focus on your studies. There is so much new material being thrown at you as a first semester 1L. Focus on learning it, do your best on finals. And then around winter break, I would say, get your resume in order, start to write some cover letters, and maybe start to apply, and then you'll do the bulk of your summer internship applications during the beginning of second semester 1L year, or at least that's the timeline most people follow, so you don't need to busy yourself with resumes and cover letters during your first semester. Having said that, you will need internships and eventually jobs down the line, so even if you're not actively applying and working on your resume, still meet people, be friendly, be professional. Even as a first semester 1L, if you go to like a lunchtime talk or something, go up and introduce yourself afterwards, get their business card. In fact, the firm that I'll be working for in a few months, my first job post-law school, I got connected with that firm through a coffee I had with a now partner my 1L year. And they didn't even hire 1Ls at the time. This coffee had I wasn't looking for a specific outcome from this coffee. I was just meeting someone and chatting about law school and things like that, and it turned into what is now going to be my first job after law school. So you never know what these connections can bring, so don't close yourself off. You don't need to be busy with resumes and stuff, but just meet people, be professional, tell people you're in law school. I mean, don't be annoying, but like, tell anyone who will listen that you're in law school, because you never know who can help you out and who might know of someone who's looking for a summer intern and things like that. So definitely start to build your network, but you don't need to be doing any applications or anything until, I would say, winter break at the earliest, and then you'll do most of it at the start of your second semester. Okay, so hopefully this video was helpful, and hopefully it just like assuages some of your guys' fears as you enter into 1L year. I know it's such a nerve-wracking time because you are full adults, you've graduated undergrad, and now it feels like the first day of high school all over again. I remember this time so vividly. Don't be nervous. Everyone's in the same boat as you, and hopefully this video answered some questions that may have been on your mind. If you have more, feel free to drop them in the comments. I also always leave my Instagram and my email address in the description. You guys can always email me or DM me with other questions. I'm always happy to talk law school or anything else for that matter, so feel free to reach out and just be calm. You got in for a reason, same as all of your classmates. You are perfectly qualified to be there, and no one has a head start. Everyone's starting from zero. So just keep that in mind. I hope this video helped. Best of luck, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.